Hey everyone, my name is Krishanna Marie Newton and I'm currently a graduate student at the University of Central Florida pursuing my master's degree in urban and regional planning. I also received my undergraduate at UCF in sociology with a concentration study of ex-offenders reintegrating healthy back into society. Today I'm here to talk to you about empowerment of justice and what it means to me and the community that I serve. So to begin, I want to answer your first question. What does justice mean to me? Naturally, as a sociologist, when you give me a question, I want to interpret it in the right way. So I start fumbling through my head with a lot of other questions. Some questions that came to my mind was, how does my perception of justice come to mind? How did I gain my perception? Does it matter if I always agree with what I believe is to be just? And how does my meaning influence the others around me? So I came up with a little acronym to kind of mold my meaning into something and a basic fundamental definition. So to me, the definition of justice is the principle of respect and rights for all people to live amongst each other, to govern and forgive the mistakes of other people, but also to lay protection to others who might disagree, holding them accountable and responsible for their actions. And the greater good for the fairness of all. So my acronym for justice is the jurisdiction in the unity for structural togetherness to implement climate exchange to social issues. Social issues such as police brutality, for-profit prisons, and reproductive rights. Those are some issues that have been occurring in our society and had a lot of friction lately, and I think that those issues need to be reconciled and dealt with on a grander level so that they're not influencing or challenging the system that we have set in place for our judicial system. Two things that really I've learned about justice is that it varies no matter where you are. What I might perceive to be the right thing to do, you might think is wrong. And what you think is right, I might not think is wrong. But we do share a lot of similarities and differences amongst people that make us come to a common ground on what the moral stance is for justice and what justice is for all people in our society. So the follow-up question that you had next was, what do I think needs to be changed in our society to make things more just? Now, when you're asking this question, it's extremely broad, but there's a lot of avenues that we can take. A lot of times in society, we think that we are the problems, but as a sociologist, I'm a firm believer that we offer a lot more solutions than we care to admit to ourselves. We like to resonate in the issues at hand instead of actually putting action plans in place. Some things that I think that could occur and what I believe to be true is community activism, being out and partnering with people in your community to get the conversations going on the social issues that we're having and why these things are occurring, and see, can we come to a common ground in a halfway place where we can make some greater good for the next generations to come. The second one is collaborative efforts. I believe collaboration is the key to so many of our social issues, and the more we as a society pull forward with technology and the more we learn to converse over the subjects that cause us a lot of conflict and have these difficult conversations, whether you're in a workplace or whether you're just having a genuine conversation with your friends and your family, it is important that you put a collaborative effort as a leader. The next thing I believe is social responsibility. Social responsibility is necessary for every person that is in any society, in any world. Social responsibility is the fundamental thing that you have a responsibility for the next generations to come. It doesn't matter if you're working at McDonald's or you're working at a university as a professor. Everybody has an even social responsibility to give back into the world and to create things to be more justice and to handle them in a certain manner where it's respectful for all. The next one is social accountability. I think this is like key nowadays. A good example to use is the police brutality thing. Too often, the police are not held accountable because they are in a position of power, and this adds strenuous amount of stress in our society to individuals, especially minority individuals who have already faced enough hardships going through life and now are triggered with another one where they are worried about if they walk down the street if they're going to be shot or not. And it should be known that when you hold a position of power, that you will be accountable for all of your actions if you disobey the law. And that should be a point blank period thing, but we see many times in our society where people are getting written off from this. The last one I want to touch bases on is leading social exchange. Social exchange is a new terminology in sociology, one that I find myself very fond of. And the reason why I find myself fond of it is because we share similarities and differences. We can't always come to an agreement on certain things, but we've learned to bend rules and bridge the gaps into our systematic barriers and collaborative efforts to create social exchange among people. And technology plays a huge role in influencing in that especially for justice. We have media outlets in like Twitter, for example, where Black Lives Matters is at a stance because people get to voice themselves and voice their concerns and voice themselves in a way where it matters. Okay, so the last question you guys asked was, how can I bring about the change? The first thing I would like to do is start locally. I think the local change is most important. I start with my family and my closest friends and start conversing with them about the social issues that are occurring, which naturally causes a chain reaction, which will eventually gravitate towards a domino effect on a grander scale. The second thing I want to touch bases on is implementing change. Really getting a hold of those policies and challenging the policies that are issues to our judicial system or to local organizations where you see things that are unjust happening. Don't bite the bullet. Speak out and speak loud and proud with the voice that you have. And the last thing is creating unity where you are. Creating that sense of unity and collaborating with other people is the most key to really making an impact in your community. And that's what I've been doing throughout the years. And I work on partnerships and bridging systematic barriers for ex-offenders reintegrating back into society. That's my focalized study, and that's how I'm impacting my community, to help ex-offenders reintegrate back into society in a healthy manner that's suitable on both ends of the stick. I just really would like to give a huge thanks and some acknowledgement to Dahlin Law Firm for giving me the opportunity to pursue this scholarship and giving back to the community, especially to the higher education community. To Christopher Renard Davis, who helped with my production and getting me to figure out how YouTube works. The University of Central Florida online scholarship website. Completely convenient and at your fingertips. Thank you so much to the team that puts that together, and to my closest friends and family that continue to support me throughout the years as I pursue higher education. Thank you again, and I hope you guys have a lovely day.